Good morning, lovelies. How are you today? Allie over at A Cleaver Art. We are here for this morning's Meet Your Muse. Today we're going to talk about tiny rituals that keep our creativity going, whether it's things we do to keep us inspired or things we do to just keep us going once we're started. So, if you are here this morning, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be here for about an hour today. And as you guys know, I usually get on a little bit early. That's one of my rituals. But did not get on early today. I did not. There's also not coffee. It's a whole thing. But here's the thing. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing it. We're also going to remember to hit that repost button because guys, sharing artists really helps get them known. Oh, sorry. I'm there. I promise. I'm here with you guys. How are you? How are you doing this morning? Wow. All right, yeah. So for those of you who do not know me, I am Allie over at A Cleaver Art. I have been building this up for the better part of the last 5 years. Some of these arts and wonderful creations have been around a little bit longer. They just needed a few more minutes in the studio. But they are available as arts and prints, originals, all that good stuff. You just got to check out the A Cleaver Art universe. I do a lot of pour painting, acrylics, but commissions are open, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, go check that stuff out. And I'm sorry with the yawning. Like I said, there's no coffee this morning. And guys, let me tell you, when it comes to tiny rituals, that one is my favorite. Now, it probably did need some water to like hydrate and start my day or whatever, but boo. Okay, I like the caffeine. So, I'm not going to judge. If you have caffeine, you're getting yourself started and up. Good, but that's actually a ritual. That's a habit. So, things that we do repetitively, those are the skills that we build. Those are the memories that make our life, you know. But in practice does make perfect. All of those are very important things. We don't realize that we're creating a habit and a ritual when we're just doing something that's fun. It's the consistently showing up. It's the I do this every time, the repetitive nature of it that turns it from just something I thought was a good idea to like, hey, this is part of my process. And I know I tell you guys all the time, we're going to start off and have a slow morning talk. This is with no coffee, so I'm not responsible for once the caffeine does show up. So not having coffee, I sent out an SOS, and it's kind of nice to be able to depend on your friends to help you through those rough moments. Well, hello. Interesting. Okay. I don't know what's with the settings this morning, but we're going to keep it moving because whatever. So yeah, for me, the cup of coffee in the morning has become part of the daily ritual. Um, I don't necessarily have to reheat a cup before I go up in the studio to create, but um, I have noticed I will keep a cup of coffee anywhere from 6 a.m. until 5 in the afternoon. So probably a good thing I'm drinking water right now. But guys, habits, the things that we're doing intentionally that we're building up. Me showing up for this live as close to 7 o'clock every day is something that counts as a ritual that fuels my art. Um, Now that seems silly because, right now it doesn't look like anybody's here or. Here's the thing, guys. This is practice talking about my art. This is me saying, hey, at this time you can get me here. So that's showing that, the party, whoever's supposed to be there shows up. So if you're in there and I can't see you guys, I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like I'm rambling. I'm used to this being a little bit more interactive. But here's the thing. Even if it's not perfect, we got to share it. We got to invest a little bit of time into what we are building and creating. And yeah, I wish there was coffee because my coffee usually tastes like magic. But let's see if we do one of these numbers. Maybe everybody's sleeping this morning. It's okay though, because here's the thing. I was doing some research and it says that TikTok likes to push you out and not tell you that it's pushing out. Like there's all sorts of weird sliding scale algorithms that they use. But who knows? I'm trying to figure it out as I go along. I'm just kind of doing one little piece at a time. Let's start with some magnets. Let's do some positive energy. All right, guys. So magnets, right? Little teeny tiny functional things that stick, or really really big ones. But it's about drawing energy. And the thing that I love about these magnets is they have my art. So everything in my shop will have some variation of an artwork on it. The clothing is abstracted, but that's just because I wanted the whole rainbow of options. I didn't want to limit myself. But that was a tiny ritual that built up the art. Hi, good morning. I see you guys. Um, the tiny rituals, the things that we do every day, the time that we consistently pour in, the things that we stick to. Those are the important ones, guys, when it comes to our creativity. I think the thing that sets an artist apart is that we are totally okay to fail. Now, is it dramatic? And yes, okay, I am total Disney princess. Like, if an idea that I want to work on doesn't work out, or I will use the excuse that I don't have the right supply, all those good things. And here is the thing, though. At the end of the day, am I making an excuse to not create, or am I making little tiny habits? Am I building up practices that feed my creativity? One of my most favorite is the 5-minute a day sketch. Now, I do not sketch every day. Please understand, I do not sketch every day, not because I'm a hypocrite, but because I have several hundred different projects at all times. And I will sketch randomly. There'll be days I'll do 5 or 6 sketches, and there'll be days I do not. I prefer to paint, honestly. So if I get free time and it's not project based, I might not necessarily sketch every day. Do I keep a challenge constantly so I have prompts and I can sit down and sketch when my brain can't quite figure out an idea? You betcha. You betcha. Mainly because once that flow gets going, I can be like, oh yeah, there was this idea I wanted to work on, or this idea. All of these build on each other. You have to slowly invest piece by piece. Guys, here's how I'm gonna invest. I'm gonna practice doing this pen and unpen thing because I'm not necessarily the best at it. I think it's because I have to scroll, like it doesn't automatically like go to the bottom or say it's been used before or whatever. Do you guys do lives? If not, you should. It's very freeing. It's good practice. It's just sharing yourself and interacting with people. Sometimes with like weird expectations. Um, so this pinned product is actually on the wall over in the corner. It's an older artwork, but it was one I was really proud of. So I do have a few pieces still from way back when. I was never quite sure how to market the paper art. Some of them I didn't want to let go of, but I don't know. We're just kind of fooling around, seeing what we can do, figuring out what sticks. And in the process of doing these lives for the last month, what stuck is that the difference between being a full-time artist and being a mom with a day job and a dream was telling myself that it was okay to be a full-time artist, that it was okay to get up and have coffee and count that as my business card in marketing for the day. It was okay to actually become a creator who made art all of the time, and I've used these lives as an excuse to make art more. Because guys, that's what I want to do. I want to make art. I like making art. Is that surprising? Um, but when you are, a creative and you're trying to market yourself and your products and like you're doing 6 jobs, guys, and it's exhausting. And so I found all these like little tiny habits that I could like focus on. Like this week I'm only gonna change this in the system. And that hyperdrive, that focused intention on it, even when it was a 5-minute sketch every day for a week on the same topic, it it builds compound interest. And so I just want you guys to think about some prompts, some rituals, some little tips and tricks that you can add in to fuel your art. Like if you are not creating because you have perfectionism, you're worried it's not going to be perfect. Purposely create something that's bad. Before you do any other art for the day, keep a scrap piece of paper, literally just rip something off your desk and draw something that's bad. Do you know if you draw something that's bad 100 million times, it slowly starts to look like something that's good because you've practiced drawing it. The same circles, the same squares, they add up, they build, they build. All right, we're gonna unpin this so that we can pin this. I would appreciate some heart me's. Those guys are kind of cute. Um, but yeah, so just tiny little habits. Um, I make sure that I set an alarm for 20 minutes before my lives because I have no idea what's going to happen in my day other than I absolutely have to be at a certain spot at this time. And so that kind of leaves a lot of free throw and chaos available, which is not a bad thing. You know, there was a lot of time where I like had to be doing something right now constantly, and so this is a nice change. But I set alarms to remind myself, hey, I need to do this thing. Um, it's very useful. I'm gonna be honest. Like it seems like that would be like making my creativity rigid. Um, but no, it every Wednesday an alarm goes off and says, "Hey, creative rhythm." Is that obscene? Is it unnecessary? Should at some point on Wednesday I know that that's part of my ritual? Yeah, guys, I thought it was Tuesday all day yesterday, so probably a good idea to have an alarm that actually says, hey, do this now. But you've got to act on it. You've got to act on it when the alarm bells go off. You can't put it aside. You can't be like, oh, I don't know. I've never drawn a circle before, so I can't draw circles. You gotta listen to it. You gotta build it up. So instead of being depressed about not having coffee this morning, hydrating. Is it a habit that I will follow through all the days of my life? Probably not. I am very well known for reminding people to drink water and then going and chugging a glass. But that's what these things are, guys. These are authentic soul reminders that if we're paying attention to and we're building tiny rituals around, it becomes habit. It becomes something that we do every day. I never thought in a million years that my first thought when I opened my eyes was, oh my God, did I oversleep my life? Never. It's kind of nice. It's different. Let's not do it again tomorrow. Okay? Some things don't have to happen over and over again. Now, I do say, like, my art, all of these pieces are the same story, different parts of the same story, different perspectives, little glimpses in. But as you can tell, they're very different. They express themselves, whatever the point is, very differently. None of them are 100% the same. Even this one that looks similar to this one, because I used a very similar color palette, they're not the same. And I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have been like, well, I want to do this. I want to sit down. I want to create art. I've been looking at that panel for 3 years. And if I hadn't been like, hey, now is the time that I paint, it wouldn't have gotten painted. But now's the time that I paint didn't necessarily mean I only work on this one project. Like, you can have form and structure without completely locking yourself in. For instance, had I not drank my high calf tea the other day for no reason at 2 in the afternoon, I would have that. I could have invested into having energy right now. But if you guys are paying attention, I have energy. I'm just not giving myself the right credit. And that's a creative ritual that we could use to fuel our art. I fully believe in little reminders, little tiny 5 minutes at most actions that add up. Hi, I see you guys. I really don't know what's going on here. But it's okay, guys. It is okay because you know what? We're up, we're at 'em, we're taking on the world, or we're pretending like we're going to take on the world. Trying to figure out different little rituals. My brain is not firing as fast as I would like it to, but I'm getting it there, guys. Here's the thing, you have to be careful not to judge yourself. Hi. Ooh, a dolphin. So long and thanks for all the fish. But you have to be careful not to judge yourself when you are creating, because that is something that will dampen your creativity very quickly. Just showing up and saying, I'm going to participate in this project. I'm going to see what turns out. Being curious. Those are great little tiny steps. You want something practical? Sit down at the table. Put your art supplies where you can keep them. Do you know a messy space makes it harder to create in? Do you think I'm going to clean the entire space to divine cleanliness? No, 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 no. No, I've got about this much room in front of me, as you guys can see. Okay? Real talk. From this line of the phone over is an entire row of papers. organized so that I know what I am doing. That was my I'm cleaning today. I put them in stacks so I could work through them and knock them out. Crazy, right? I know you have a creative ritual. Would you like to share it? Oh, I made him run away. One second. All right. Staying up. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm very sorry about this. We're gonna cut this short today because the one job that will always trump being an artist and the thing that I always wanted to be is being a mom because it was the thing they told me I never could do. So figure out something tiny that you can do to add to your creativity, to remind yourself to be inspired, to make you feel safe, that you have that permission to create something beautiful. Because you're beautiful. I'm Allie at A Cleaver Art, and I'll see you guys soon.